Good morning, Niagara. You're tuned into Car Connection where the coffee's hot, tools are ready, and the talk is always tuned up. I'm your host, Niall Motormouth Jenkins, coming to you straight from the Car Connection workshop, where we mix a little humor, a little know how, and a whole lot of horsepower. Here, it's not just about fixing cars, it's about keeping you rolling, saving you money, and giving you the confidence to understand what's under that hood. From the classics to the commuters, the weird noises to the what the heck moments, we've got you covered. So grab your cup of Joe. If you're just sliding through the takeout window, always remember double check your order to avoid disappointment. Get that cup into the cup holder. Keep an eye on the road and the other guy. And if you have a co-pilot this morning, give him the pack of crayons and the leaf bag. Take some notes and join the crew because this is Car Connection, your Monday through Saturday morning pit stop for stories, smarts, and a few good laughs. And I'm Niall Motormouth Jenkins joining you this morning. Thank you for inviting me into your automobile as you're driving to work. The Motormouth Morning Drive. And yes, I do remember my morning drive moments. 90 minutes one way. Yeah, first one there, last one to leave. Absolutely. 80 hours a week. That's all. That's all it took. No problem. All right, let's jump into what we got going on. First and foremost, what's really important is let's have a swiggy together and kick off the morning. What do you say? So raise your favorite cup of morning beverage, whatever that is. No one's holding it against you. For us, it's high octane, or we just don't get anything done here. That's about how it works. So we count it down on 3, 2, 1, and we have a swiggy together. You ready? 3, 2, 1. Man, that's just hitting the spot this morning, isn't it? Well, I hate to tell you, I look at the weather forecast. It's going to get cold again, so hang in there. Make sure you got your snow brush with you, a full jug of winter washer fluid, minus nothing less than minus 45, people. If it's minus 40, minus 35, leave it in the grocery store unless you're buying it for future use in the spring and the summer. I just run minus 45, minus 50 all year round. That way I'm not caught with washer fluid that's going to go into a deep freeze, end up breaking out the bottom of the washer jug and wrecking the pump, plugging the lines and the nozzles. Sounds expensive. It gets expensive really, really fast. Well, we're going to be talking about, and I think we're going to wrap it up today. I do have some more estimates coming in, and as they do, I'll share them with you. It just means the more estimates there are, it means more money in the braking system. Yesterday, we talked about just the rear emergency brake system on a 2017 Dodge Ram 1500. And there's thousands of those out there. There is, literally. You probably see them on the road, don't even notice, but if you have one, then you'll go, wow, they're like everywhere. You ever notice that? You buy a new automobile, you pick out a different model, and then the next month or so you seem to be more cognitive of that year, make, and model, going, oh, there goes another one. There's another one. They're everywhere. Yeah. The basics don't change between vehicle to vehicle. They all have brakes. Even the electric vehicles have brakes. And we'll do a series on some of the repairs and maintenance on the electric vehicles as well, because no, they're not maintenance free. And some people really are sold into the idea, I don't have to put gas in it. It's saving me money. But is it really? Have you really done your homework on that? I'm big on statistics. Check electricity versus gasoline, and then all the other repairs that come with owning a hybrid or a fully electric vehicle. Yeah, you're not a maintenance-free vehicle whatsoever. But when the maintenance comes due, that's where you need to know the truth about what's going on. So always, always, always do your homework so you don't get caught out. And this is what happens a lot in the automotive business, is it's easy to get caught up in a conversation I'm glad that, cows don't fly when the salesman's talking, because most of the time it's a big sales pitch and they know what to say, when to say it, and boom, next minute, you bought the vehicle. But once you own it, it's called vehicle ownership. It's your baby. So, anyways, so I don't digress. I have a number of different topics coming up: transmission care myths, how to avoid a $5,000 bill, and what does that dashboard light really mean? And then up next will be, is premium gas worth it? When you should or should not pay more. Those are some topics coming up. Just give you a little insight as to what Motormouth here has been up to. We do have a little more brake information I will share with you tomorrow. Replacement of ceramic disc pads on modern vehicles. And you know what? I'm not a happy camper with that one, so I will definitely be chiming in. We'll talk about braking material. We've gone through several changes, and now we're into ceramic brake pads, and I am not a fan, and I'll share that with you in the podcast. Well, thank you to Crystal Ridge Dream Center, serving men and women, children, meals, love, and hope, changing lives one at a time in the Niagara region. We are grateful to be able to come alongside and make awareness of what they do there. And, in times when community support is crucial, Crystal Ridge Dream Center shines as a beacon of compassion and transformation. They have programs running for all ages, and there's no cost. So they have to raise their own funds. They have no government funding whatsoever. But I'll tell you what, the kids after school programs are just out of this world. They feed them. They love on them. They have tutoring as well as music lessons. There's so much available for the kids. Single moms, seniors, adults, young adults, they have it all happening there. Check them out on our website. All the logos are there for our program partners and recommended businesses. But we always come alongside for 31 years on radio and tie in with a local nonprofit faith-based organization. And heading into 2026, Crystal Ridge Dream Center is that organization. They know how to take a nickel and bang it into a dollar. So if you want to become a volunteer, or if you want to be a monthly giver, that would be absolutely fantastic. Well, let's move on this morning and jump into our brake systems real world repair costs, part 2. I've got another estimate here, and it's for front brakes, and that is on the yes, it is on a 2008 Nissan Rogue 2.5 liter. And yesterday we talked about just rear emergency brakes cost, and that wasn't all of it. Bill put as much on there, but then the estimating system went down on him yesterday. Isn't technology great till it's not, right? That's exactly it. So there are a couple components missing off of yesterday's estimate, and he was trying to get another estimate out to us. So we'll wait for that, and when I get it, I will share it with you. But this was just for the rear emergency brake system that has to be working. So if your vehicle has parking brakes, they have to be working. Yeah, they do. And it has nothing to do with the law. It has everything to do with the functionality of the rear brake. So I want to clarify that right away. If you're having the vehicle safety inspected to sell it, so you're looking to sell it privately, guess what? The parking brake has to pass. It has to work at that point, or it's a fail, and it's got to be fixed anyway. And this is my whole point of the brake system. You can think that you're driving for free, but you're actually not. You're not getting 1 single kilometer for free, maintenance free. You're not. So I want to break that myth right now. So for all the armchair warriors, it's okay for you to choose for you to drive your vehicle into the ground. I give you permission to do that. You go right ahead and do that, because I really don't care. It's an IDK. There's 2 types of IDK. I don't know, and I don't care. with a K. It's your choice. It's not my car. It's your car. So if you choose to drive it into the ground, hallelujah. That's your choice. I can't change that because my professor taught me a man convinced against his will is of his own opinion still. And I will allow you to have that without protest. So, as I've mentioned, 31 years ago when we started our Car Connection Live and live call-in automotive program, this program is not for you if you're looking to put money back in your wallet and save money on automotive repairs, or you want your vehicle to live a very long life, then this program is definitely not for you. So you can leave me a nasty comment, but I know where the delete button is. I don't even read it, to be honest. I just don't. There comes a time in life where the drama just has to stop. You have to say no to drama. Just hit delete. Don't listen to the message. Don't let that negative troll get into your head. Anyways, the program is not for those who don't want to maintain your parking brake. It isn't, because that's where you're wasting a ton of money. The rear brakes have to be top drawer all the time because they play a very important role in preventing you from burning out the front brakes prematurely. If the rear brakes are not working right, you'll go through 2, maybe 3 sets of front brakes before somebody figures it out, that the rear brakes are not doing their job. Front brakes are there. They do about 75% of the braking anyway, but if the rear brakes aren't pulling the vehicle back when you apply the brakes, so that it's not like I always say it's like a dog squatting feeling. Sensation is that when you're pressing the brake, you feel the car pulling you back from the rear. Then the front, as you apply the brake pedal harder, then the front brakes kick in, and that's where about 75% of the braking power comes from your front brakes. But if the rear brakes are all messed up, then that means your front brakes are doing a lot more, and that's when they overheat, warp the rotors, and things get way too hot up there, and you burn out the brake pads long before their time. So you usually that type of person usually ends up going through 2 to 3 front brake repairs. Yeah, or brake jobs. 2 to 3 brake jobs complete. If the calipers survive, most of the time, because there's been way too much heat on the front brakes, the disc brake calipers are baked and they got to be replaced. So you end up costing yourself more money. So the long and short is, no one gets away from having to put money into repairs on an automobile anywhere on the planet. Even if you park, for all the summer drivers have their summer vehicles, they are high maintenance. And I can tell you that. We have a couple of vehicles we bring out to car events, and the kids can have their pictures taken in them. And, we have a great time out there on the road meeting and greeting people. But, first thing, as soon as they come out of the closet, I got to go through them because they've been parked for 6 months. And when things get parked, they don't wear out, they rust out, they corrode, they seize, and brakes are the number one problem on vehicles that you park for the winter, unless you have it in a climate controlled environment. That's different. But instead, even still, the brakes get light rust on them, and you got to make sure that you're maintaining the brakes like crazy because that's the area of weakness. So yesterday we talked about, if this is your first time joining us, welcome aboard. I'm Motormouth, and it's the Motormouth Morning Drive. Dress warm today. I'm just saying. I looked at the weather forecast. It's going to be a chill factor today. Rear park brake assembly on a 2017 Dodge Ram 1500 series. And like I mentioned, there's a couple of pieces missing off the estimate because Bill couldn't get it. So thank you to Garrison Automotive Service in Fort Erie for providing us an estimate to share with you. I'll just quickly run over it in case you missed it. The rear brake shoes, that's not shoes for your main brakes. We're just talking about parking brake assembly, which must be working in order for the main brake system to work properly. They work together. So when you take away the use of the parking brake, you're wearing out your rear brake assembly, your main braking system. It all works together. They're not a separate entity, and this is where that division has happened. Honey, you don't need to use the parking brake because it's an automatic transmission. That is a lie from the pit of hell and smells like smoke. Right there, I can hear the cash register ringing. Cha-ching! So while you bought into that myth that you don't need to use the parking brake on an automatic powered vehicle, your rear braking system is falling apart. And you'll get away with it. It's true, you'll get away with it until you can't. And that's what I'm talking about right here. So just for the parking brake assembly on this 2017 Dodge Ram 1500, the little tiny brake shoes that make up the parking brake system, $470. Is that right? No, the shoes are $60.61. The brake shoe hardware kit, which is always rotted right out completely because it's never serviced and lubricated and cleaned, that's $90.70. And this is where he tried to do the estimate. If the backing plates that the shoes mount to are rotted off, which they usually are because you're not rust proofing, the salt just eats them right off. You got to have something for the shoes, the parking brake shoes, to attach to. And this is where the big problem comes up. We get into the rear brakes. The rear brake pads are shot. The calipers are done. And we pull the rotor off, and there's a drum inside. They're a disc drum. So your drum portion is your parking brake. The disc is your disc brake on the rear. And it's a mess. And I'll let you know that the homepage of our website is links in the top right-hand corner for our YouTube channel, Facebook, Instagram, Stevensvilleontheweb.ca. Click on the business tab to see our business profile, and our iHeartRadio link is there as well, and our merch store. We'll talk about that more in just a few moments. So if you go to our YouTube channel, we have after this next month, we just shot enough videos take us right into middle of February. So before we did that, and we have 2 videos going up today and 1 on Friday. We put 3 up every single week, 2 for Tuesday, 1 on Friday. We have 137 videos there. And this past summer, we had the Brake Nationals going on in the Car Connection workshop. It was one vehicle after another, and I'll tell you, the braking systems were absolutely destroyed. And it was 2 parking brake systems. There was nothing to fix. Just pull it off and throw it in the garbage. There was nothing working, all rusted out. The backing plates were rotted off. What do you attach the parking brake to? If the backing plate, which houses the parking brake, has rotted right off, what do we attach the parking brake system to? You're right, nothing. There's nothing there. So you pull the rotor off and everything falls on the ground. It's all rotted off and it's been rolling around in there. And it's amazing that you didn't have a wheel lock up, because that's usually what happens. Driving at whatever speed and the wheel locks up. Imagine that. That's a ride. So we ran into that twice. 2 vehicles, exactly the same. Parking brake system completely rotted out. And nothing to attach it to, even when we get the new parts, if we don't replace the backing plates. How do we fix it? We can't. We can't fix it. We got to get everything we need as the car was leaving the factory in order to fix it. Then we can fix the main braking system, which is the pads, the calipers, and the rotors are your parking brake and your disc brake system on the back. It's one. The disc brake rotor on the back also houses your parking brake. So I hope you're understanding how it all works together. So if the parking brake system is seized up, rusted out, crusty, rusty, and ready to fall out, the rear brakes need that system to be working to keep everything free and prevent it from binding up and locking up the wheel. And that happens. And it's scary. And would I want that to happen to me? Absolutely not. We have several vehicles that have that exact same system, and it's it's demanding that it be serviced. All right, so we go at what else we got? The parking brake cables. Yep, they're always seized because we're not using the parking brake. So they seize up. So then you can't even use the parking brake till you replace cable. So you got to do that first. Now it has the opportunity to work, but now you got to replace all the other components that have rotted out, broken, and are junk, absolute junk. So the bottom line here, parts, labor, and tax, and this estimate doesn't include having to replace the backing plates, because that means pulling the rear axles out on both sides, and it's a big job. And we got to unbolt what's left there and get it out of the way and install a new backing plate. Now we can start building the system back. $1,403.73, and that's just a part job. That's without doing the backing plates. And I will tell you right now, 9 times out of 10, the backing plates are either half rotted off, gone altogether, or there's something that sort of looks like it was a backing plate at some point, and you grab it and it just crumbles off in your hands. Okay, the other estimate I have is for front brakes only, and this is without calipers. So this is assuming, okay, the initial brake inspection was $55. Next was brake service kit at $12.50. Front brake rotors, $255.74. That's $127.87 each. Times 2 is $255.74. Set of brake pads, ceramic pads, not a fan. $152.02. We'll talk about that on tomorrow's program a little bit, because it's it's an environmental thing, and they just don't work like the old stuff. All right, so brake inspection. I'm on the labor side now. The initial brake inspection, checking thickness of brake rotors, thickness of brake pads, calipers, and wheel cylinders, if equipped, $55. The labor to replace front pads and rotors, $212.80, bringing us to a semi-total before tax, $688.06, with tax, $777.50, and you're getting away cheap because there's no brake calipers on here. It's just a basic brake job. What I wanted to pay attention to is the inspection was $55. So if every 4 months you spent $55 for a brake inspection, for them to check everything over and then give them the authorization to, take the calipers off, clean and lubricate everything, and make sure everything's working, put it back together, how much money do you think you would save in a year? A lot. Yeah, it's not even close to $777.50. And that's a basic brake job. That's pads and rotors. I call it a pad slap and a set of rotors, clean and lubed, out the door. And the calipers may not be 100%. They're kind of, the pistons went back when we put the weight of the car on them. The pistons went back and the calipers, everything's good. No, calipers should be able to just, with very gentle pressure, push the piston back into the base position. But if I got to use a C-clamp to drive them back, that means those calipers are done. The pistons are not moving free enough. And that means if we go ahead and just salvage the calipers. You're going to go through another brake job. You're going to be back for another $777.50 in less than a year. That's what that means. So, and whatever you do to one side on the car for brakes, you do the exact same on the opposing side. So it's equal. You need to have equal braking all the way around. That's what's important. Equal braking. That prevents accidents. So just for a basic front brake job, just shy of $800, just to get to the parking brake assembly partially back together. Again, like I said, the backing plate cost to pull the rear axles. It's a job. There's a lot of work to get that rotted old system out of there and start to build it back. You'd be looking at, I'm going to say, about $1,100 to get in there, pull the axles, because the same applies even if it's not a truck, rear wheel drive. There's still a lot of components that have to come out. The bearings have to come out in the rear, and that's a whole lot of fun in a bag of chips and a diet soda, let me tell you, to get that all apart, to get to the backing plate and unbolt what's left, clean that all up, and then rebuild it back is a lot of labor. It's probably pretty close. I would say, from my thoughts, remembering doing it in my own shop, one of my guys or myself would be tied up on that job for most of the day to get it done. That's how much work it is. So minimum you could be into between 6 and 8 hours of labor, about 3.5, 4 hours each side is pretty accurate. I've been in this automotive repair business for well over 4 decades, and I am a fully licensed tech 310A, 310T for trucks and coaches and diesels. You get to see it all. There's nothing that surprises me anymore. Nothing that I hear surprises me anymore, because what's happening and what's costing you a ton of money in brake repairs is you're not seeing the value in having the vehicle in the shop for a brake service, because if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Isn't that the attitude? And your driving habits are killing your machine. Yesterday I was on the road just for a little bit, and I had to head into St. Catharines, and it's just crazy. It's crazy to watch you out there driving like that, because you're killing your machine. So, as I've said before, trading time for money for the next 35, 40 years, and how many cars are you going to go through that you're going home to work, 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 buy another car. Home to work, 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 buy another car. You don't have to. It's all in a mindset. If you buy into the idea of neglecting a vehicle, that's why it's costing all of you a lot of money to keep your car going. You're getting these massive repair bills. I just looked up a repair bill this morning that was sent to me, $3,800. Could you feel good at work today, knowing that at the end of the day, you got to pick up your car and it's going to be $3,800? Yeah. What's that day going to look like? It's going to be a coffee day for sure. Absolutely. And how do you prevent getting a bill like that? And we're going to be talking about that with regards to transmission. Some of the topics coming up. The next one is a hot topic. Transmission care myths. Not myths. And how to avoid a $5,000 bill. That one's coming up. So preventative maintenance is the key. So you might think, I got to take the car in the shop. I got to get the brakes checked and serviced. That's going to come back to you tenfold. If we turn around and fix all that parking brake that you don't use because hubby says it's an automatic, that's an option to use the parking brake. I love that one. That one just does it for me. Well, it's just optional. Well, something I'm going to share with you, and I'll have to do that on our YouTube channel, is what a parking pawl is. Yeah, there's your homework for today. Google that. Parking pawl. Pawl. Take a look at that. What a transmission parking pawl looks like before we get into our next topic, which is transmission myths. Yeah. It's going to shock you that when you do not use your parking brake, the little tiny piece of metal called a parking pawl is the only thing holding the entire weight of your vehicle when you're parked and you don't use the parking brake. Yeah. Take the weight of the vehicle off the automatic transmission. It's not really designed for that. So for all the honey, it's an automatic. You don't need to use the parking brake. Well, that's just, yeah, just tell the mechanic, forget it. We're not fixing that. We don't use it anyway. Yeah. This is what I'm trying to teach you is not correct thinking. That's what's costing you a ton of money. So if we have to do the rear brakes because they're all burned out, then we have to tell you that the parking brake system has to get up and running for the rear brakes to work properly. On a lot of these systems, it all works integral. It works together in order for the rear brakes to work. So we got to gut it, replace all the parking brake, then replace the disc brakes, calipers, and rotors to get the system back up and running for you, for those in your family who think the parking brake is an option. Then the problem starts all over again. It's decaying, it's rotting out, you're not using it, you're going to be back into another $1,400 just for the parking brake assembly because you decide it's an option. If you were to pull up out front here in front of the Car Connection workshop, there's only one vehicle there today. The other one's out getting a safety inspection. And yes, the parking brake fully works on that, and it's all brand new. All of it. There was nothing salvageable, and you can see that vehicle on our YouTube channel. It's a 08 Nissan Rogue. There was nothing left back there. It was like, oh my gosh, when I got in there and going, I really did not feel like doing another one of these today. We just finished one. And it's hardcore. It's like, this is a job and a half to get this thing back alive. Yep. Get on the phone. Yeah, we need everything. Yeah, everything. Bring it all to get it going. So you can see that work being done and what it really looks like on our YouTube channel. So everything in every episode, the things that we talk about, lives at our website at carconnectionbusinessnetwork.com, ccbusnet.com. It's the biggest drawer we have in our toolbox where all our program partners are there. All their logos are there, so you can click on their logo and take a look at their profile and get to meet them and let them help you in the profession they're in. They've been with our radio programs for many years, and they're with us now on podcasts, so we're definitely blessed to have that. But that's where you'll find all the links in the top right-hand corner for you to follow and connect with us. Top right-hand corner has our YouTube channel link, Facebook, Instagram, and there's videos and reels there you won't see anywhere else on Facebook and Instagram, and outtakes and bloopers. And there's Stevensvilleontheweb.ca. My pops has lived out there. We were just calculating how many years now, 30-something years, and some great businesses in the little town hamlet of Stevensville. So they put us a profile page on their website. Just click on the business tab. There's our iHeartRadio link as well. That's our kind of our home page podcast. We're on all the major podcasts, Spotify, Apple, Amazon Music, and all the other platforms. If you just type Car Connection Workshop into the search bar, we're there. And you can tap right into our library. We have 59 episodes posted for you there, all different so you can tune in as well. And our merch stores there, when you grab some Motormouth merch and show it off and be part of the crew, you're helping someone get into Total Freedom Darien Center, New York. It's a campus for those who are struggling with any addiction, any age. That's open to men and women, Canadian and U.S. residents. Total Freedom Sydney, Manitoba, Canada is a campus facilitated by Rick and Robin, and they know it all about addictions, both of them, husband and wife team. That's a men-only campus, but a new life waits for those who are going through an addiction and are ready to really deal with it. So we're helping that to make sure that they can get there. So when you purchase some Motormouth merch through our store safely, we just put 6 other items up there and a limited edition Car Connection coffee mug. Proceeds go to Total Freedom. So you're helping someone who can't afford to get there. They turn nobody down. They take them in. So that's what you're doing. Things are effective when we all work together. And what they're doing there is restoring individuals and families that have been enslaved by cycles of addiction and destructive behaviors. So we're going to wrap this one up today. Tomorrow, if more episodes, with another episode, but more estimates will come in. I will automatically share those with you so that you can really get a big picture how important it is for the style and the habits of driving habits I see out there on the roadways. There's no possible way you should avoid getting your car in the shop for a brake inspection and a service every 4 months. That is going to save you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars in needless repairs. You'll get more time out of your brakes. But most of all, coming up, the 30-day fuel savings challenge is going to open your eyes wider than a dinner plate and put a ton of money back into your wallet. And that's what we're all about here in the Car Connection Workshop, is that if you're interested in saving money on car repairs and putting more money back in your wallet, if you're wanting a long life out of your automobile, then this is the place to hang out, and our YouTube channel as well. That's where you're going to always learn the 5 things: what it is, where it is, how it works, how it breaks, and what you could have learned being some of the basics and fundamentals of understanding and maintaining an automobile. Mileage means nothing. Come and join us for the 600,000 kilometer club. I'll probably hit 400,000 this year on the 07 Toyota FJ Cruiser, and we got lots to go yet. Lots to go. Preventative maintenance is the key. Change of mindset that your automobile is not something you drive the hell out of it. Drive it like you stole it, and it's maintenance free. That's not true. That's costing all y'all a ton of money that you're taking time out of your life to trade your time for money for the next 35, 40 years. How many vehicles are you going to own before the mindset kicks in? I need to treat this like a tool. It's a piece of equipment that helps me to trade time for money, take care of my family. So till tomorrow morning, we'll see you bright and early at 8 a.m. for another episode of Motormouth's Morning Drive. Take it easy out there. Watch out for the other guy. Keep it under 100. Happy, healthy motoring. Peace, patience, and kindness. And we'll see you tomorrow morning. Drive safe. Bye for now. Car Connection is brought to you by Crystal Ridge Dream Center, serving men, women, children, meals, love, and hope, changing lives one at a time in the Niagara region. City Auto Sales and Leasing, low mileage quality vehicles at fair prices. GTA's premier pre-owned auto store. Rainbow Motors and Garage, sales and service you can trust. All years, makes, and models, including light commercial vehicles. You can count on Rainbow Motors and Garage, sales and service you can trust. Our certified financial planning professionals, Tony Milley and Larry Tetro, 50 years of experience of fiduciaries with IG Wealth Management, investment portfolios, debt retirement, estate planning, wills and powers of attorney, arranging mortgages, life insurance, critical illness insurance, and more. Be sure to check out the 1 hour and a coffee discovery meeting is available to you complimentary. No sales, no gimmicks, no anything, but listening to see how they can help you. Niagara Block, 5000 Montrose Road, Niagara Falls, building Canada since 1931 with building supplies, hardscape landscaping materials to help you build your backyard oasis. And Total Freedom, Darien Center, New York, and Total Freedom, Sydney, Manitoba, restoring individuals and families enslaved by cycles of addiction and destructive behaviors. Your new life awaits you there. Thank you to all our program partners that make this episode of Motor Mouth's Morning Drive possible. We appreciate you giving them your business and let them know that we sent you. And we'll see you soon. Bye for now.